Rob Nance, founder and CEO of Dispatch. What have been the major trends in wealth management technology throughout 2025, and what do you see as the major trends in the space in 2026?
I think we've seen two major trends in this last year. One is a focus on organic growth, and the second is a focus on efficiency of the operations of firms. So, a big focus on how do we organically grow? We know that acquisitions have been a big part of business for RIAs. But as we're organically growing and as we're making acquisitions, how do we make that more efficient? How do we focus on not entering data in a redundant manner? How do we focus on providing better service to our clients? And how do we focus on ultimately not having to hire back office staff in conjunction with the number of advisors we're adding? In other words, how do we make those individuals more efficient? In 2026, I think we're going to see more of that. I think we're seeing a lot of firms focus on consolidation. So we've seen a lot of firms that have gone from many individual firms operating underneath them to a single unified brand. And I think as we're seeing a single unified brand coming out, you've heard of things like Focus Partners, like Hightower Signature Wealth that's launching, which are these unified brands. And as these firms continue to build unified brands, they're going to be very, very focused on the ability to consolidate technology and to automate a lot of those processes that we've seen so far in 2025.
Now, can you tell us about Dispatch? Give us an overview of the business, the gaps in the market it's aiming to fill, and its full range of product and service offering.
I started my career many, many years ago as a financial advisor. And one of the pain points that I had was the amount of data that I had to enter multiple times across my tech stack. So when I had a new client, I had to enter that information in a CRM system, in a financial planning software, at the custodian. And anytime there was a change in that data, I had to enter it over and over again. And so we built Dispatch to solve that problem, which is how do we identify the most painful workflows that RIAs have? And then how do we help supercharge the individuals that interact with those workflows? So, put another way, how do we eliminate duplicate data entry? How do we eliminate the need to fill out, custodial forms manually? And so Dispatch helps automate that. At the core is a unified data model. And what that does is allow data to move seamlessly between all the applications that you use. And on top of that are really elegant workflows. So one is bulk transitioning. How do I transition, if I've acquired a firm, how do I transition those assets over in a really simple way? Another use case would be how do I then get that data to the custodian to open accounts, whether that's a transition or ongoing use case? And then how do I manage that client's data over the entire life cycle, which can be everything custodian related, but also the data that lives in the financial planning software, CRM, billing reporting system, et cetera.
Since you mentioned custodians, are there any major custodians that Dispatch partners with?
We do. So Dispatch provides a unified interface, a single interface to open accounts across Fidelity, Schwab, and Pershing. And what that means is you don't have to go into multiple interfaces if you're a multi-custodial firm. You have one place that you can do that. And we've worked to build great relationships with the first-party relationships with the custodians, so we're not reliant on a third party. That allows us to deliver data in a very efficient way, which means things like validating fields to reduce NIGOs before it's even submitted, API submission where possible. So we've really focused on building those relationships and then connecting that data back to rest of your tech stack. So if you use Salesforce or Wealthbox or Redtail or Microsoft Dynamics or the common financial planning softwares or billing reporting systems, we have all that connectivity to make sure that data is linked together.
Rob, thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you, Chris. Really appreciate it.